Today, we're gonna be talking about how to perform a good morning.
Get up and get down, get up and get.
All right, guys, thanks so much for stopping by the YouTube channel. Today, I'm joined by my friend Olu, and we are gonna be going over how to perform the exercise Good Mornings. Now, first and foremost, I'm gonna let Olu take you through some of the step-by-step process that he takes whenever he does a good morning, and then we're gonna see some performed and go over some of the finer motions to make sure that you can perfect this, and then we'll also talk about how to program this assistant exercise into your training. So first and foremost, what are some of the steps that you like to take when you're teaching a good morning?
So I take out the bar and I get myself in the position as if I want to squat, more like my shoulder width stance.
Okay.
And I try to load my glutes and my hamstring just to create that stretch. More like try leading with my hips all the way down, keeping my head neutral and slowly bringing it back. I see a lot of people lead with their head. You don't want to do that, because what I train good morning to strengthen my glutes, my hamstrings, and my erectors.
Yeah.
You know, and leading with your head is either you're going to start compensating with rounding your back. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to make a little bit of demonstration for you so you can see how I do it. And I don't max out on this weight.
Definitely. Something, an assistant exercise must be performed with lightweight and strict technique.
Yeah.
This is not something that we want to max out in.
Exactly.
Definitely.
So I'm going to show you a little bit of what I do, and you know, you don't have to agree with it, but it's been a thing for me, and I can tell you, I use it, like I said, I use it to strengthen my glutes, my hamstring, and my erectors, most especially.
So this is a great exercise for, again, posterior chain development, back stability, and back strength. So as you can see, walking the bar out. Now, he's going to start this motion with his hips, basically performing like an RDL, but the bar is obviously on his back. Now he's doing this with the Kabuki Strength Transformer bar, but it would work just the same with the barbell across your back. Starting with the hips, reaching the hips back and bringing the chest forward to where the bar ends up well forward over the knees. Just like that. Now, as you go down for a good morning, couple things we want to focus on. First and foremost, looking at the feet. You want to make sure that your toes are jammed down the entire time and you're not shifting your weight back onto your heels. Sometimes you will be able to lift more weight if you shift your weight back onto your heels, but that's not the point of this exercise. It's to mimic the exact balance in the exact positions that we want to see within the gym, which is body weight through your midfoot. So if I can see your toes wiggling during this exercise, you're too far shifted into your heel. So as you go down and the hips start, your chest needs to tilt forward enough to where you feel like you're right over the middle of your foot. And as he goes down, you should feel your hamstrings lengthening and good tension within your glutes. You should not feel this in your low back. So if you get done with this and you have a good pump in your low back, you're probably not breathing and bracing correctly. So that's another thing, is as he does this, he's going to take a big breath and brace his core as if I was about to punch him, and then going down and moving completely about the hips. So Evan, let's come over here to the side. I want people to see this. As he goes down, his back is going to remain completely flat. His hips are pulling back. His hips are working dynamically, so posterior chain's working dynamically, while the mid and low back are working isometrically. So these muscles are creating stiffness in the spine, and we're not getting much spinal movement in comparison to the hips. So most of the motion is coming about the hip joint, not the low back. Now again, another thing that Olu talked about was head position.
Yeah.
So go down with this and let's see that ideal head position. We want to maintain more of a neutral head or a slightly extended. So it's okay to look up a little bit, as if you're pulling with a deadlift, you're going to be looking straight forward. If you're doing a clean, you're looking straight forward. Same thing with a squat. So it's okay to have a little bit of a head extended cervical spine, because that's also going to make sure that all these muscles of your back, like your erectors, so look straight forward when you do this, all these muscles of your erectors all the way down your back are going to be lighting up to maintain sufficient stability of the lumbar spine. If you look down, so look down while you do this, and then go, you're going to not have enough engagement of these muscles in the mid-back, and you're going to be placing a lot of shear load on the spine that could, over time with this, be something that creates potential injury. So you want to make sure that you're looking either with a neutral spine, or especially if you're trying to have as much carryover to your Olympic lifts or your power lifts where you're looking straight forward, we want to have that exact same head position with this.
And one more thing I want to do is, so when you bring the weight down, get into that good morning position, there is no need for you to exaggerate the lockout.
The hip extension.
Exactly. So get it tight, create stretch all the way, and bring it back into position. And like you said, for example, if you try to bring your head down, I cue that wherever your head goes, your body follows.
Yeah.
So think about it. If I have extra weight on this, the weight start, see that? Yeah. See where the weight is? It's already on my head. But if my head is this way and I hold the bar, you can see the difference.
Yeah, so much better, much better. So let's do this. Let's put that bar up, and actually, we're gonna take this off because I do want to mimic this or show people. I'll demo with a traditional barbell. So let's throw, if you could, Olu, grab one of those bars off the rack. And let's put one of those up here. And I'm gonna demonstrate for people just with a regular barbell. One of the big things that you want to do, guys, when you're doing this is make sure that you have that locked down appropriately on your upper back. I see too many times people will have this bar up way too high on their upper traps and almost pushing with the bar, whereas you want to be creating that shelf, so pulling your shoulders back and down, locking in those shoulder blades, and creating a very firm foundation. So from here, I'm gonna have this pulled onto my back, and again, this is more of still a high bar position, which you can do this in. Again, you're gonna take that stance just like you would when you squat, or if you go wider, that's not a bad thing. But for me, I like to mimic my exact squat stance with this, so I get as much carryover. And from here, again, stiffening my spine. I'm not having a good proud chest. So ribs down, and then from here, pushing the bar, hips back, right there. I can feel my hamstrings lengthening, a lot of tension, but I'm not feeling this in my back whatsoever. And I'm making sure that I still have my full foot jammed down to the ground. I'm not coming down and having my toes pick up. So I'm not shifting my weight too far back onto the heels. So that's the way I like to perform it when it comes to a barbell.
So do you try and max out on this?
Do not try to max out on this. Something like this, I'm using this again. Our goal with a good morning is an accessory lift to build up posterior chain, core stability, working the body like we do during a pull, which is isometric control of the low back, dynamic control of the hips and hamstring. So something like this in my training, what I've been doing is using this about 8 to 10 reps, maybe 4 or so sets with light weight that I can control, and then progressing accordingly. But again, I'm not doing sets of 3 with as heavy weight as I can. When you're gonna go heavy, you're gonna do it in your big lifts of your squat, your deadlift. What about you?
Like for me, I mean, years ago when I used to do a lot of box squat, I use it as my warm up.
I like that.
I mean, like, maybe throw like 25s on each side and get that stretch, prime my, my posterior chain, my glutes, my erectors, everything, my hamstrings, before I start the squat. I might try to, I can do it, if I want to do it as an accessory, I go a little bit heavier. Maybe, maybe go up to like 225. I'm sorry, I'm starting to get used to the, the pounds and the kilograms.
We can talk kilos in here. We have a lot of weightlifters that follow.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not talking down on anyone that try to max out with it, but for me, as a powerlifter or as a strongman, there's you're not going into a meet to max out or to get points on the accessories. The point of accessories is to strengthen the muscles responsible for your lift. So why are you trying to max out? Are you going to max out and risk yourself of getting injured, pulling something, or are you trying to do your accessory work to strengthen the muscles that will make you proficient at your lift?
Exactly. So again, basically the idea behind this is the good morning is a great exercise to help improve posterior chain, strength and stability, work core stability. You should not be getting a low back pump with this and those muscles. If you are, you're probably not stabilizing correctly and moving about the hips. We don't have to go heavy, and you can use, like I said, you were using the transformer bar from Kabuki earlier, or you can use a regular barbell. If you're using a barbell, make sure it's locked down appropriately. If you want to slide it into a low bar position, that's fine too, if you feel more secure. But if it's up on your neck too much, it's going to roll up, and again, we'll see that upper back round, which we don't want.
And again, I mean, if you're maybe a power lifter, just create the stance the way you want to start your squat. For me, I keep it, my stance is it's not more like a close, but I make sure I create this exercise the way I want to compete.
Exactly.
You know, the way just to strengthen the position I'm in. But sometimes you can, you know, one of the things that Good Morning does for you also is, you know, sometimes when you try to max out on squat, you know, it can be perfect sometimes.
Yeah.
And you can get out of position. Good Mornings allow you to get away with that because your erectors are strong. Because normally when you bring the weight down, it's not, you know, you're in a different movement than squat.
Yeah.
So those muscles that you're trying to build is to allow you to have that bulletproof feeling when you get out of position, especially on the squat, especially on those heavier weights.
You build capacity so that if you do get a little bit out of position, you can still withstand it, finish the lift, and make sure that your injury risk is much lower because you've, like you said, you've bulletproofed your back. And this is a great way to do this.
Exactly. So, and it's a great carryover to squat, deadlift. Especially squat and deadlift, this exercise is a great carryover to it because your glutes, your hamstrings, your erectors are, you know, being built by this exercise.
Exactly. So there you go, guys. This is a fun, quick tutorial on how to perform a good morning. Make sure that you go check out my man Olu's YouTube page and his Instagram handle. I'll put the links below for you guys. And if you're enjoying the content I'm putting out here on SquatUniversity YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the channel and ask any questions that you have for either of us in the comment section below. Till next time, guys. Happy good morning.
Thank you.
They say that energy flows where attention goes, so I pay no mind. Why waste my time with all these negative cats scratching? So caught up in their egos, these people have lost.